Alright, so you should have watched the video on Yayoi Kusama, who is a very inspirational artist when it comes to pop art and psychedelic art. This is one of her paintings of mushrooms from 1995. She is currently 93 years old and still producing art to this day in her art studio. So not as recent, but definitely not as old as some of her artworks, since she's been working since the 60s. So since we were talking about fungi, I thought, and it's March, which is Women's History Month, that we would do a mushroom painting, a psychedelic mushroom painting based on her artwork. We've already talked about the anatomy of mushrooms, so seeing stalks and gills underneath the cap should be all very familiar with you. Your orientation of your paper is your choice, whether you want to do vertical, diagonal, or horizontal. But you of course need to start with a pencil. And draw some good old-fashioned mushrooms. We already talked about how we draw some mushrooms. We could do little ones, big ones, ones that are a little less mature. So they look like little sultan caps. We could do ones that are inverted. And have kind of more of an umbrella turned inside out feel to them. You can have a few that are on their side. So like someone just came and spilled them onto the cutting board. I would say limit it to 4 to 6 mushrooms though, just so you don't drive yourself insane. I'm gonna go with another kind of a morel or Turkish cap mushroom over here. So have your mushrooms on your paper. Then you're going to take your pencil, and since she is the queen of polka dots, you are going to put a series of random dots in the background of your art. She loves patterns, but polka dots, of course, because of her hallucinations, are her go-to. She is the queen of the polka dot. Alright, so once you pretty much have made your paper look like it has chickenpox, what you're going to do is you're actually going to play connect the dots. And you're going to build this pattern for your background, okay? If you feel you need some other dots to help fill in those spaces, go ahead, add those. Yeah. Because I can't see where I'm going. I'll get rid of that later. Okay, you're going to connect all of these off the paper, on the paper, all over the place. You can even go toward your mushrooms and divide up spaces like that. But you're just looking for a very geometric pattern in the back. Put a dot there. That feels right. Alright, once you have done that, you're going to take a permanent marker. It does not have to be black. It could be a permanent marker of your choice. Just remember when you're painting over this that if you do choose a color, it may mix and make different kind of colors with what you're talking about. You're going to outline your mushrooms. And you can use as many colors as you want. I'm not against colors because Kusama really liked colors. Or really likes colors, I should say. I'm so used to talking about artists like they are gone. And she is so not. So not only are you going to outline your mushrooms, okay, you can also add in, not everywhere because dots are going to be reserved for acrylic paint, some patterns, okay, like the gills. Okay, and you're also going to outline your geometric pattern in the background. Now it's going to look very piecemeal because I know you don't want to sit here and watch me trace all these lines again. Alright, so you're going to trace your lines in the back and get this little guy right here. Ugh. Squeaky squeaky. Just do those two for my demonstration right now. Now I actually don't have a Crayola watercolor set. What I got is either tubes of concentrated watercolors or I got watercolor pencils and I got my handy dandy water pen here. When you break out your watercolor sets, that's the first kind of paint you are going to use. You are going to choose a background color and make it solid. You're not going to color in each of these shapes. Sorry. Save colors and an amazing variety of colors for your mushrooms instead. And I color mine in with my watercolor pencil, and this is the cool thing about watercolor pens. I use these on travel, so I don't have to have a big water cup wherever I go. But my watercolor pencils are just really dried watercolor paste that's been condensed into a pencil lead. So all I had to do is literally add water from my water pen. There's actually a reservoir of water inside of this, so this is much easier to port around. I don't have to have a direct source of water because there's already water in my water pen that's loaded. I just got to make sure it is loaded before I go to wherever I'm going to paint. And because my watercolor set usually comes in a tin, these are actually magnetic, so I can actually have magnets holding down my pieces of paper, prop this up, have this, and just draw this. So if you ever want to do nature painting or painting of landscapes or buildings, this setup with a water pen, where'd you go, is fantastic. Much easier, much easier. And this set, find at Hobby Lobby, it's by Fantasia. Okay, it's got these. It's got 24 colors in it. Highly recommend if you want to do anything like that over break. Alright, so now that I've done part of my background a solid color, okay, I'm going to come in and I'm going to choose my colors for my mushrooms. And like I said, your mushrooms can be holy cow crazy psychedelic colors when it comes. So you're going to come in, you're going to make it awesome, amazing. Love this Carmen red. You can have fun with stripes and the different patterns you put on your mushrooms. So I'm going to go with kind of a gold color. Nice yellow orange, carmine yellow. Totally wasn't toxic back in the day. And let's say good old blue for the top. I'm making everything shake, and that's okay, because everything's going to shake. I don't care, just as long as the camera doesn't fall over. See, I can't use purple again for the background. I'll use this ultramarine instead. Oh yeah. Alright, so watercolor is the name of the game for the first kind of paint you're using. You're going to watercolor in your background, your mushrooms. I love how Carmine Red gets deeper as I go. Alright, so I've done my mushrooms. Last step for you. Okay, you can either use a Q-tip, which you can ask for, or the butt of your brush. Is you can choose your acrylic colors. You don't need a lot. I'll use the butt of my water brush, and you are going to add dots. And yeah, some of them may need to be reapplied because they were just not very pretty dots. Big dots, little dots. Okay, go ahead and add polka dots to your mushrooms in celebration of Yayoi Kusama. Add dots in there, dots in here. Ooh, I know some of my OCD people are like, no, the spacing. It's okay. This is simply a demo. Alright, and so I'm going to go with that color, and then I'm also going to go with a little bit of orange contrast. Think about contrasting colors, complementary colors, colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel, just to add that biggest flare of, wow, those colors really don't go together, and that's okay. They're not supposed to go together. They're supposed to be loud, psychedelic. Look at the chunky orange. It's okay. Alright, but you're going to add dots and dots and dots and dots and dots. And do it to the whole thing. So I'll have a picture of my finished one here in a moment. Until then, enjoy the dots. Okay? Go self-obliterate yourselves. Alright, talk to you later.